Hey guys, it's Louisa here. I want to review the trades that I took today, starting in London last night. For some reason, my trades are not showing on my chart. But I did take some photos of them, so I'll just confirm that I did take them. If anyone knows why sometimes they disappear from your chart, if you could let me know in the description below, I'd appreciate it. Okay, so this is the 5-minute chart. We're just going to start here for now. And last night, Asia opened up and then very quickly just made this... let's just find the beginning of Asia here. This is Asia here. So here we are, Sunday, 6 p.m. Price opened up and then expanded lower pretty quickly, actually. I don't trade Asia, but I know some of you guys do. So price came down, and this vertical line here represents 105. And what I did was I took a quick long. So let me just show you why I took a long. So price came down. I'm looking for my smart money reversal, right? So smart money reversal has certain characteristics to it. So the first characteristic is that oftentimes it creates a breaker, and in this instance it created a bullish breaker. And then I want to see an inverted fair value gap plus a fair value gap and a change in the state of delivery, which is what we have here. So let me take you through all 4 of those characteristics so that you can see why I decided to take this trade. Whoops. I tell you, my internet has been like on and off all day. It drives me crazy when this happens. But anyway, okay, so we see price come down, and then here are the characteristics of a bullish breaker. So we have a low, we have a high, we have a lower low, and then we have a higher high. So this is our bullish breaker. Now, there are different ways that people use a bullish breaker. You can use the all of the candles between the first low and high. So let me just draw that in. This is how I use the breaker. So here is my breaker, and this is a bullish breaker. I'm going to make that slightly bigger so you guys can see. Make the border slightly bigger. Okay, so that's my bullish breaker. And then in this leg coming down, here is my inverted fair value gap. So it is between this candle and this candle is my inverted fair value gap, and then my fair value gap, or my BISI, is candle 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, and 4 actually. And this is on the 5-minute, guys. I did take this trade on the 5-minute time frame, and I often take trades on the 5-minute. I know a lot of people like to take trades on the 1-minute, but I've said before, when something sets up on the 5-minute, I tend to find that the trade has a really nice run. So anyway, okay, so price moved up, and then here's our change in the state of delivery on the 5-minute. So what is the change in the state of delivery? Well, it's the candle or a series of candles that support or lead into the push up. So this is where I put my change in the state of delivery right here. So price came up and then started to retrace, and I like to wait for the retracements. Now, ideally, I want the retracement to retrace and either touch the bullish breaker or touch this fair value gap. Ideally, that would be a good entry point for me. But in this particular case, it did not. I entered here because once this candle closed and this one opened, I had a nice big green candle, which showed me that bullishness was the flavor So I entered here and then I exited somewhere around here, I think. And I'm just going to show you proof of that. I don't know why my, I don't know why my execution marks are not showing, but I just want to show you that I did take this trade. So I took a picture of it, and here's where I entered, and here's where I exited. So I think that's like super weird. Anyway, again, if you guys know why sometimes it disappears off charts, please let me know so I can address that. From time to time it happens, but I'm not sure why. Okay, so that was the first trade. I think it was 30 points. And then London accumulated. One of the things that I was a little bit excited about was to see Asia really sell off, because I'm bullish on the higher time frame, on the daily and weekly. We are bullish. So I was excited to see that Monday might be putting in the low of the week. And so I was pretty happy to see Asia just come down, expand downwards like that. So this morning we had 10 o'clock news. It was red folder news. So I was not going to take a trade. I'm going to take all this stuff out because I want to walk you through what I saw. I was not going to take a trade before red folder 10 a.m. news. So that's what I was waiting for. So this vertical pink line here indicates the open at 9:30. Now, let me go down to the smaller time frame. Let's go down to the 2-minute. And in a few minutes, I'll show you why I was bullish today, or that was my framework anyway. I'm never married to my framework, but anyway. So here is the 9:30 open. And so price leading up to 9:30 came down and then moved up. I'm going to take this off. And then immediately had a reversal or a retracement back down. So what do we know that to be? Well, we know that to be a breaker. So we have a low, then we have a high, then we have a lower low, and we have a higher high. So immediately when we see this, so we have a low, a high, and a lower low, we're looking for an SMT. And I don't think I got an SMT, but there is a daily SMT on the lower time frame. So that was what indicated to me that price wanted to go higher. So we have a low, high, lower low. So between this low and this high, this is where we have the bullish breaker. Now, you can use this entire series, but I like to use just the first candle. And so I'm going to put this here. This is a bullish breaker. Bullish breaker. There we go. And then we have a fair value gap. Right here we have a BISI. And we also have on this leg, we have a SIBI, which is an inverted fair value gap. So I have three things now. I have a bullish breaker, I have an inverted fair value gap, and I have a fair value gap. And I have an SMT. So, and I have my change in the state of delivery. I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. Why is this a change in the state of delivery? Well, when price came down, this is the last series. This is the last candle or series of candles that created the push up. So it is this formation. So here is the change in the state of delivery. So once price gets above the change in the state of delivery, I'm not going to take a trade up here because your risk is between price up here and price down here. So this is way too big a risk. So when price does this, this is simply displacement. So don't let that freak you out, or don't think that you're missing, the trade, because a good trade will have 100 to 200 points, right? So those are the trades that you want to be involved with. So So I waited till price came above the change in the state of delivery, and then I waited for 10 o'clock news, and here we see it was 10 o'clock news, and that's when I was waiting for the retracement. Now, when it comes to the retracement, price can retrace back to the first fair value gap. It can also retrace just to the bullish breaker and then rebound off that. So you don't know exactly where it's going to reverse from. Ideally, the best entry, if you can wait for this fair value gap. But if you wait for this fair value gap and it only hits the bullish breaker and then leaves, you're going to miss the trade. So you kind of have to use some good common sense. Be prepared when you see these big candles leaving the bullish breaker. And that's when you want to be in the trade. So just allow price to come back down, right? We're on the 2-minute here, and this is the fair value gap on the 2-minute. So I entered the trade here, and then I exited the trade. It was 92 points, somewhere around here, might have been a little lower, somewhere around here. This repositioning here, it was unfortunate that I exited the trade. I should have stayed in it. But what I don't like to see is, I don't like to see price come back to the change in the state of delivery. You can just bring your change in the state of delivery right over. For me, the change in the state of delivery becomes break even. And I don't like, at this time by 11:16, I don't want to see price at 11:16 come back to the change in the state of delivery, because that could be the end of my trade, right? So I wanted to exit the trade because I was sensing that if we came back to change in the state of delivery, price could just, reprice lower, and that would be the end of the trade. Now, as it worked out, price came just shy of the change in the state of delivery and then continued up for the rest of the morning and afternoon. So that would have been like a super, super nice. That would have been, so let's see, 318, 418, 518. That's almost 200 points. Now, I took 92 points out of this trade, so, I'm not complaining about that. But if you guys follow me, you know that I'm doing this time and time again. I'm exiting my trades too early. And so I continue to work on this aspect of my trading, because you guys know I like the longer trades. I'm not a scalper per se. I do scalp, but that's not my first priority. I like the 60, 70, 80 to 200, 300 point runs. Really, that's, and I take a smaller size position to be able to get those size runs. So anyway, I just wanted to share a couple of these trades with you. My entry model, my model is the same model every single day. It doesn't change. And the characteristics of a smart money reversal are the bullish breaker, an inverted fair value gap with a fair value gap, and a change in the state of delivery. Those are and an SMT would be the 5 characteristics of a smart money reversal. Now, just before I let you guys go, I want to show you this afternoon what I was watching. So again, we're still here on the 2-minute, and I want to show you how this model just plays out numerous times a day. Like this for me is just the one and done model after studying many, 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 many models over 3.5 years of trading. This is the highest probability model that I have ever worked with, and these are ICT concepts, and ICT has always said that the breakers is the highest reversal model that he has. And so I've been working with breakers for a couple years, and they're worth waiting for. So there was an interesting setup this afternoon. So let's just take a look at that. So price came and made a high at 1246 this afternoon. Now, you guys know that when I trade, it's time then price. So for time, it has to be 45. Let me write this down so you guys can see it. So the only time I would take a trade is 00:45 to 00:15. And so that is every hour. That's my window. That's the macro that runs. And so I must see the reversal inside that macro window for a trade to be valid for me. So I was watching this afternoon. So price came up and made a high at 1246. We had nice displacement down. Price came back up, and here's what I'm looking for. So I am looking for the characteristics of a smart money reversal. So let's just go over what those are. So we have to have a breaker. So here we have a low, high, low. So that's a breaker there. Sorry, high, low. High, low, higher, high. So that's a breaker. So we have a high, a low, and then a higher high. So that's a pretty big breaker. And this is not in my window. So I continue to watch this. So price displaced down really, really nicely. And we've got a breaker here. And then here is our CISD. And here is, on the opposing leg, here is our BISI. Where's the change in the state of delivery? Change in the state of delivery is here. Why is this the change in the state of delivery? Because this black candle here is the last candle that pushed price up. So price comes down, forms a change in the state of delivery. We have a breaker, we have a CISD, an inverted fair value gap, and a fair value gap. Price moves back up, comes back up. Now I'm looking for time. So I need to be between 0045 and 0015. So right here, price makes this high at 1356. So this is 1356. So that is in my window. So I could have looked at taking a trade when price came back into this CISD and BISI. It went a little bit outside, but it still stayed below this high here. So the reversal was in at 1356. I had lost internet connection again. I lose internet connection. I'm in a really small town, and that's just the way it goes. But anyway, this would have been a nice trade here. We have another CISD here. You could have entered here on this black candle, this one right here. So you've got all the characteristics of a smart money reversal here. We've got time, we've got the CISD, we've got the BISI, we have the inverted fair value gap, and we have a breaker formation. So this candle here would have been a nice entry. So you could have entered here. You could have put your stop loss to be safe. I like to put my stop loss at the top of this candle, but you could have also put it, if you wanted to be really conservative, you could put it the consequent encroachment of this CISD here, because it's quite a large CISD. But here's where I would have put my stop loss. And then from here, so this is 473 points. I would have looked at probably here would have been my first take profit. And then looking down to the lunch lows. So this would have been profit number one, profit take number one. And then this one would have been profit take number two, which is the low of the lunch. And this would have been profit number two. And that would have given you, so we say here, 473 points to 378. So that's 100 points. So, you know, price was moving pretty nicely. This is just a bunch of chop here, so we'll have to see what happens tonight in Asia and London. We are in non-farm payroll week, which is the first week of the month. So this is the week to, you know, go easy on trading. Monday and Tuesday is okay, but Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, no bueno. And if you're going to trade, then definitely downsize in your in the size of your trades. Just be conservative. So anyway, if you have any questions, please drop them into the discussion below. Please like, share, and subscribe so we can grow our community. And again, if you have any questions about the model or anything that I discussed, let me know. So you guys have an awesome evening, and I hope to see you guys back again tomorrow. Okay, bye for now.